walking and living just like us.
What the am I looking at?
There are some strange entities that have nothing to do with the human race, with creepy features and supernatural powers. These living beings are freaking humanity out.
Get away from my car!
Let's watch who they are and why they're here. This clip looks like a scene straight out of The Walking Dead, but nope, it's real. A woman casually sitting on a bus with her feet up. Nothing weird about that, until you see the feet. Gnarly black claws instead of toenails. Skin gray and cracked like it belonged to something not alive or undead. People online completely lost it. Some were convinced she was a witch in disguise. Others thought it was a werewolf mid-transformation, caught slipping in public. Of course, there were a few practical guesses, like a severe skin condition, but even then, it's hard to explain those claws. So what do you think? Creature? Curse? Or just a case of really bad pedicure neglect? Gualier Scare. Tucked away in the hills of northern India, the Gualier fort draws visitors from all over for its stunning architecture and deep history. One couple came for just that, beauty and heritage. But what they left with was a ghost story. As they wandered through the fort's shadowy halls, they captured a quick video. Rewatching it later, something caught their eye. Did you see that? Just behind the woman, a figure had appeared. A woman with long, ragged hair covering her face, gone in a blink. Locals whisper that spirits of tortured prisoners still roam these halls. Was this one of them? Finally seen? Or another tourist mistaken for a ghost? I'll let you decide. Scary man. This bizarre photo was reportedly taken at night on a bus somewhere in San Francisco. While the identity of the photographer remained unknown, one thing was clear. He had serious guts to aim their camera at this man. His bulging, bloodshot eyes and yellowing teeth, which appeared to be gnashing at nothing, gave him a disturbing, almost zombified look. Some claimed he was in a trance or altered state, while others compared him to Boris the Animal from Men in Black. When the image hit the internet, it quickly turned into a meme. While many believed it was real, others insisted it was digitally edited. Threelegged. This one's straight out of a sci-fi story. A driver couldn't believe her eyes when she spotted a man walking around casually.
What the am I looking at?
With 3 legs. Not only that, but all 3 limbs appeared fully functional, defying what you'd expect from a mutation of this kind. Naturally, the internet had a field day. While some shrugged it off as a clever prank or visual trick, others jumped into the deep end with chilling theories. Could this be a shapeshifter stuck in an awkward transformation?
What the am I looking at here?
Not human. This eerie video has been making waves online, and not just for how bizarre it looks. A man stands quietly on the side of a road, but takes a closer look. One of his legs. It's not human. The lower half appears to be that of a goat, complete with a hoof. The rest of him is fully human. Folks online were divided. Some called it CGI. Others weren't so quick to dismiss it, wondering if this was a shapeshifter caught mid-transformation or something not human at all pretending to be. Whatever it was, the footage left people uneasy, still guessing. Lady in red. An Indian bus driver was finishing his route late one night, well past 11 p.m., when he noticed a lone passenger sitting quietly. Feeling uneasy, he called out to her, asking to see her face. What happened next chilled him to the bone. When she finally turned toward him, there was no face, just darkness. Panicked, the driver stopped the bus and immediately called the police. However, when authorities arrived, They were just as baffled as he was. The ghost lady had vanished without a trace and was never seen in the area again. Dark mystery.
But this thing is scary as hell.
A guy driving at night was suddenly caught off guard by someone standing on the side of the road. It appeared to be a man, but his face looked off, not quite human, almost like a mask, but with features too smooth and strange to place. The figure seemed to stare directly at the driver, sending chills down his spine.
Oh, what the f? Oh, what the f?
Netizens had theories. One joked he looked like a skin-colored Elmo. Others believed it had to be a mask. But why wear something like that in the middle of nowhere? With no further context and no one coming forward, the clip remained a mystery, and a creepy one at that.
Never seen no one look like this or be like this.
Headless meeting. This guy had to stay overnight at a hospital for treatment, but he got more than just medical care. Late into the night, he heard laughter echoing from outside his room. Curious and a bit unnerved, he peeked into the hallway, then quickly pulled out his phone to record. Two women in white nurse uniforms stood talking, but something was terribly wrong. They had no heads. The video went viral, with netizens split. Some believed these were spirits of nurses who'd once worked and passed away at the hospital. Others floated theories about bizarre experiments or illusions, but skeptics were firm. It had to be a hoax, maybe a prank involving clever costumes, or was it? Turn around. In many Asian cultures, there's a witch that appears out of nowhere and can turn her head a full 360 degrees. Most thought it was just a myth until this video surfaced. An amateur adventurer was exploring the woods with a friend when they stumbled across a woman in white standing still among the trees. Curious, and probably thinking it was just a hiker, he approached, filming everything. But the woman didn't turn to acknowledge them. She just stood there, silent. Then, suddenly, she screamed. A high-pitched, bone-chilling shriek that sent both men running. But rewind for a second. Just before the camera panned out, her head turned, almost fully around. Some netizens were convinced that it wasn't a person, it was a witch. Slipping disguise. A group of friends were having a blast on a pirate ship ride, filming each other. When they reviewed the footage later, the fun quickly turned to fear. For just a split second, something about their third friend didn't look right. Her face, her entire expression, twisted into something inhuman. Not a funny grimace or blur, but something unnatural. She didn't remember making that face. The other two hadn't noticed a thing during the ride. Some people chalked it up to motion blur. Others had a more chilling take. They believed her human disguise slipped, and underneath was something else entirely. Commanding life. A man just casually riding his bike through a quiet stretch of desert when nature itself seemed to respond. Birds started circling above him, tight, synchronized loops like some kind of aerial formation. Then came the strays. Dogs, cats, all trailing behind him in silence. He wasn't seen calling out to them, and didn't even look back. Yet they moved like they knew him, like he was leading some kind of desert parade. Could this have been a coincidence? A fluke of timing? Or was there something about this man that animals simply trusted without question? Masked fear. A man was filming a peaceful trip to the woods, casually narrating his day while seated inside his parked car. It was meant to be a calm moment, but then he turned his camera to the right, and that's when everything changed. There was someone standing there, still, silent and unnervingly close to the car.
You creepy guy! What do you want?
The figure wore a grotesque mask, too strange to be a prank and too real to dismiss. Despite the terror, the man kept his composure, shouting at the stranger to back off.
Get away from my car!
Without waiting to see what came next, he started the engine and got out of there fast. To this day, no one knows who or what that masked figure was doing alone in the woods. Black-Eyed Watcher. This has to be one of the most chilling videos out there. A guy was just recording his casual walk down the block. Nothing unusual until he spotted her. A woman just standing on the sidewalk, still unmoving. At first, she seemed normal, but as he got closer, something wasn't right. Her eyes, completely black, and then her head turned, slowly. Her gaze locked onto him. She didn't move from her spot, but her eyes followed every step. Some said it was a costume, others thought it was a Halloween prank gone too far, but most were convinced she was a witch, waiting for her next victim. Forest Fright.
Alright, going randonauting, and it took us to this shady park in the middle of nowhere, so...
If you're faint of heart, maybe skip this one, because that jump scare, absolutely brutal.
Fuck, oh my god, is she following us?
A woman had driven out to a quiet forest trail, peaceful, serene, with a little wooden bridge. Seemed like the perfect solo escape, but then she saw a woman in a dress.
Oh, what the
just standing in the distance. Something about her felt off, and that gut instinct kicked in. The driver turned around, fast, but as she looked back, the woman was right in her face. Without any warning, just inches away. She either ran or materialized. Either way, terrifying. The video cuts out there without any follow-up, and the rest, well, that's the real nightmare. Vampire Alley. A street surveillance camera captured something that looked straight out of myth. Two men were seen walking down a quiet alleyway. Nothing unusual, until the security guard reviewing the footage decided to zoom in. That's when things got strange. The figures had unusually long, pointed ears, dark, sunken eyes, and oddly elongated noses. Their appearance closely resembled the old-school depictions of vampires found in folklore and classic films. Some brushed it off as a Halloween prank or eerie masks, but others weren't so sure. Believers in the paranormal were quick to claim it as real evidence. Vampires casually strolling among us, caught in a rare moment of carelessness. Real or not, the footage was haunting. Night Swing. Out for a walk in the quiet countryside, a man stumbled upon something chilling. He'd lived in the area for years and had no neighbors for miles. So who was the figure swinging beneath a tree? It looked like a woman in white, swaying back and forth, but something felt off. It was the middle of the night, and he'd only stepped out because he couldn't sleep. As he moved closer, the figure suddenly turned. Its eyes flashed in the dark. He later shared the encounter online, still shaken. Some think it was just someone playing around, but others aren't so sure. Maybe something darker was watching him that night. Terrifying Intruder. A terrified neighbor shared the footage. A woman standing outside, pleading for help, begging someone to save her and her daughter from an unseen monster. But the longer you looked at her, the more wrong she seemed. Her movements were stiff, her features off, like a mask stretched too thin over something else. Some say she was a skinwalker failing to mimic a human. Others went darker, believing she was a cursed cyborg, glitching at the seams. Either way, that's not a door I'm opening.
What? Talk to my daughter.
Dancing Lady. Have you heard about the legend of the Serbian dancing lady? Her spirit is said to roam at night, dancing and singing. And the people who were said to meet her gaze were never seen again. There have been various sightings of the Serbian dancing lady, and this one is by far the creepiest. This lady in a traditional costume was caught dancing in the middle of a deserted street at night. The cameraman, feeling scared, posted the video on social media looking for answers. The post was flooded with comments all warning the guy not to go near her or look her in the eye, as it could be dangerous. Here's another chilling run-in with the infamous Serbian dancing lady.
Hello? Oh no?
A man's bike ran out of fuel on a deserted road. He spotted a lone woman dancing in the distance. Thinking she might be a local who could help, he called out to her, but the moment she turned, his blood ran cold. She sprinted toward him, unnaturally fast. Somehow, he managed to find shelter and escape. He lived to tell the tale. He'll never call out to strangers at night again. Neither should you. Dancing Dread. A guy was cruising down a lonely road when he spotted something bizarre. A woman cloaked in black, dancing eerily in the middle of the street. Instead of driving away like most would, he stopped, got out, even called out to her. Big mistake. The figure slowly turned, face hidden by the cloak, then suddenly grabbed a tool and charged straight at him. He ran, got back in his car, and sped off, safe, but shaken. When he posted the clip online, commenters had a chilling theory. He may have encountered the Serbian dancing lady, who some say appears before tragedy, or worse. In guise. A guy visiting his parents in their village decided to take a nostalgic walk through the area he grew up in. While out reminiscing, he noticed two people sitting together on the ground. They looked like a couple, until things took a strange turn. As he got closer, the man suddenly stood up and bolted. Confused, the guy turned to the woman, hoping for answers. He began to follow her. She just walked slowly. Then, as if trying to hide, she stepped behind a tree. The man moved closer to see what she was doing, only to have her turn and reveal a monstrous, non-human face. Some now believe the man had unknowingly stumbled upon a witch mid-lure. Straw Dancer. This eerie video making rounds online had many convinced that black magic was real. It showed a bizarre garment made entirely of straw. Unlike the traditional Zangbeto rituals where the straw forms a cone, this one was spread wide like wings, completely hollow in the middle. That's what made it so disturbing. The structure swayed and danced on its own, as if possessed. It was an empty, moving mass of straw with no wires or visible people. Some folks online were certain it was a djinn, summoned through ancient rituals. Others weren't as convinced, suggesting hidden mechanisms or a clever puppet setup. But even skeptics admitted one thing: it moved far too naturally to be just a trick. A Swang Encounter.
Bang Anton, jangan terlalu dekat.
In Filipino folklore, the aswang is a shape-shifting predator, feeding on the weak, feared by many. Two self-proclaimed aswang hunters claimed they finally found one. In a shaky video, a strange humanoid figure was spotted crouched inside a shed. Two people appeared to be held captive, though oddly, they were unharmed. Moments later, the hunters lured the creature out. It crawled on all fours, with long, tangled gray hair and unsettling movements. One hunter raised her hands, seemingly performing a ritual or exorcism. It was a tense standoff. Human against monster. Some called it a hoax. Others weren't so sure. Sky Ritual. A foreign traveler visiting a remote African village was left completely stunned after recording a mysterious ritual. According to him, as the villagers began chanting in unison, something unbelievable happened. One of them started levitating. Slowly, he floated higher and higher until they were suspended well above the ground. And then it got weirder. The floating guy began performing deliberate movements, twisting and flipping midair, like a silent dance in the sky. The cameraman could barely hold his phone steady, whispering in disbelief. Was this an elaborate trick? Some claimed there were hidden wires or camera illusions, but others were convinced this wasn't technology. This was real, ancient African magic caught on tape. willed open. Last year, a strange video began circulating online, leaving netizens puzzled. It showed a woman standing near a garbage dump, casually making odd hand movements in the air. At first, it looked like she was just playing around, until something unusual happened. As she swept her hand forward, the dump's heavy door suddenly swung open, perfectly in sync with her gesture. The timing was so precise, it didn't feel accidental. Speculation exploded online. Some believed the woman had psychic or telekinetic abilities, using invisible energy to manipulate the door. Others were convinced it was just a bizarre coincidence. Malaysian Witch.
There's another one there. Look at. What the is that?
In Malaysia, a truly spine-chilling scene was captured just outside a hospital. The footage showed a strange woman dressed entirely in white, scaling the side of the building like something straight out of a horror movie. She crawled her way up to the top floor, but then things took a terrifying turn. Once she noticed the camera, she began staring at it, making unsettling, strange gestures, as if she was trapped in some sort of trance. No one really knows what to make of it. Some are convinced this eerie figure was an actual witch, adding an extra layer of mystery to the already creepy footage.
Oh, hell no. That's crazy.
Midnight Ballet.
What the hell? Yo, what the hell is that?
It started as just a fun night out. A group of friends spotted something odd on the road. Looked like a basket, maybe. Curious, they pulled over to check it out. That's when things took a creepy turn. Out of nowhere, a figure appeared. A woman in a ballerina dress, standing on tiptoes with her head tilted unnaturally to the side. She didn't move at first. Then, slowly, she glided behind a nearby building and vanished. Some said it was just a prank. Others swore it was the ghost of a dancer who passed away rehearsing nearby, still dancing in the dark.
Yo.
Unholy reveal. A woman had long suspected that one of her friends wasn't entirely human. To confirm her suspicions, she quietly began recording during a group prayer session. What she captured sent shivers down her spine. Mid-prayer, the friend turned to the person beside her and opened her mouth, wider than any human possibly could, revealing rows of sharp, unnatural teeth. The sight was terrifying. The woman froze, realizing her worst fear was real. But then, the friend seemed to sense she was being watched. She turned back slowly and resumed praying as if nothing had happened. The video left people stunned. Was she a shapeshifter? A demon in disguise? Whatever it was, one thing was clear. Something wasn't right. Thank you very much for watching the video. Share in the comments and do like the video and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.